Where did you put the real ring? The one that belongs to my wife?
In a safe place.
Wherever it is.
As the series' primary antagonist, Gabriel had control over many things. He was responsible for the hundreds of akumatizations that plagued Paris over a few months, creating the Alliance Rings, a new device that people worldwide would grow to depend on, and for the loss of the Miraculouses, having stolen all of them at once. His heinous acts make him a fantastic villain that's not easy to sympathize with during his final episodes. However, Gabriel's most significant impact throughout the series was on his family. Everyone, including Adrien himself, knew how overbearing and controlling Gabriel was as a parent, overseeing Adrien's activities, social life, and obligations. However, his control goes a step further by influencing other members of their family, including Felix. Today's video discusses how Felix's life will change after Gabriel's final wish.
Oh, do you have that chessboard we used to play all the time? Of course. Let me go upstairs and get it for us.
Number 1. He can bond with Adrien. While he tries to keep his cards close to his chest, the audience can learn much about Felix from how he interacts with other characters, especially Adrien. In his debut episode Felix, it's clear that the cousins haven't seen one another for some time. However, Adrien is eager to see Felix again, greeting him with a hug and reminiscing about their childhood later in the day. He tells stories about how they pretended to be one another as children, attempting to trick their parents. This gives Felix the idea of stealing Adrien's identity to antagonize his friends, possibly causing a few akumatizations he could analyze. Despite being close as younger children, Adrien apologizes for not attending the funeral for Colt, Felix's father. Gabriel dictated their absence at the funeral, and it seemed like they had remained distant from the Graham de Vanilli side of the family since. However, Gabriel's unwillingness to interact with Felix and Amélie makes sense when considering the overlapping timelines between Colt and Emily's illnesses. They both used the broken peacock Miraculous to have their children around the same time, so their health declined, and subsequent deaths would have occurred near one another. It's also worth mentioning that Emily and Amélie are identical twins, so Gabriel may have struggled with seeing the face of his late wife whenever visiting his sister-in-law. However, now that Gabriel is gone and his complicated feelings toward the rest of the family are gone, nothing keeps Felix from bonding with Adrien and restoring their close relationship from childhood. They may have already begun to bridge this gap as they're seen spending time together in the epilogue of Recreation, as Felix attends a pool party that Adrien's having with his friends, something he would never be allowed to do if Gabriel were alive.
I really am sorry. I'll do my best to make it up to you. And to you too, Uncle.
Number 2. His life is secured. In the episode Gabriel Agreste, Felix takes the opportunity while attending one of his uncle's events to investigate the Agrestes' home and learn more about Gabriel, who he suspects is Shadow Moth. While searching, he finds Gabriel's hidden lair and a fake peacock Miraculous. However, his investigation goes awry when he's caught by Gabriel and is called out for his behavior, including stealing his mother's family ring during his last visit. Throughout their tense conversation, Gabriel goes far enough to threaten Felix's life, claiming he could make his nephew disappear with a snap of his fingers. While many fans believed Gabriel's words were a hollow threat or a tactic to scare Felix into submission, he was literal, and Felix knew that Gabriel could make good on his promise. In the episode Representation, Felix reveals that he and Adrien are sentimonsters, created with the peacock Miraculous when their parents couldn't have children naturally. While they aged, played, and behaved like other children, their amaks dictated their lives. In Felix's case, his father kept his amak in his family ring, dictating Felix's actions and continuously influencing his behavior. He only gains complete control of his life after taking his father's ring after his death. As a sentimonster, Felix's life was always at risk as long as someone owned the Peacock Miraculous. The wielder of the Peacock Miraculous can renounce an amak at any time, effectively destroying a sentimonster within the blink of an eye. When Felix confronted his uncle and was threatened, Gabriel used the Peacock Miraculous daily to become Shadow Moth, so when he claimed he could hurt Felix with a snap of his fingers, he meant every word. To protect himself, Adrien, and future sentimonsters, Felix takes a big gamble at the end of Strikeback to trade the other Miraculouses for the Peacock Miraculous. While his actions paint him as a villain for most of the 5th season, he is utterly justified in betraying the heroes, especially when Gabriel has already threatened him once and could make him disappear if he becomes more problematic. Felix was only trying to protect himself and others like him, even if doing so turned him into an anti-hero. Fortunately, now that Gabriel is gone and Marinette has allowed Felix to keep his Miraculous, his life is secure. There's also the additional security that Felix can keep the Peacock Miraculous long-term without anyone trying to steal the object from him. Gabriel was obsessed with the ladybug and cat Miraculous, but he also knew what the other Miraculous could do, and had personally used each of their abilities. The Peacock Miraculous is one of the most powerful from the Chinese Miracle Box, Felix. And had Gabriel survived his encounter with Gimme, despite giving Marinette the other Miraculouses back, he may have turned his sights on Felix, believing the Peacock Miraculous could grant him a different way to see his wife again, like creating a sentimonster with her likeness. Since Gabriel didn't survive Gimme's wish, Felix and his Miraculous are safe from his future schemes.
And now you know that I only need to snap my fingers to make you disappear from here.
You wouldn't dare.
Number 3, he can have a larger family. From the brief scenes they've shared, Felix and Amelie give the impression that they love one another deeply and trust each other more than anyone else. There are many examples of their strong bond throughout the series. In the episode Felix goes out of his way to steal the Graham de Vanilli's family ring from Gabriel, solely because Amelie wanted it back. In emotion, Amelie approaches Gabriel to ask for help finding the supposed missing Felix, who she had protected from Ladybug and Cat Noir after he stole the Miraculouses. When Gabriel refuses to help her, Amelie returns to Felix and admits that the people she once trusted, including her supposed family, were monsters. The mother and son duo will likely continue to depend on and trust one another. Still, without Gabriel there to push them away or put them at risk, Felix and Amelie can open their doors to having a more prominent family. During Adrien's pool party at the end of Recreation, Adrien and his friends are supervised by Natalie and another woman, Amelie or Emily. Many fans believe that Gabriel used his wish to Gimme to cure Natalie of her fatal illness, meaning Emily wasn't revived as he originally planned. If that's true, Amelie is already making an active effort to be in Adrien's life and may help raise him alongside Natalie. There are also rumors that Adrien and Felix's grandparents will debut in the 6th season. Felix mentions their grandparents in representation, describing them as controlling and strict nobility, who value their family's responsibilities and legacies above all else. They also refused to help Emily when she discovered she couldn't have children, and they encouraged Amelie into a marriage with her abusive husband Colt. It's safe to assume that Felix may not like his grandparents, yet after losing one of their children and knowing one of their grandsons is potentially an orphan, Felix may discover that his grandparents are more apologetic and kind than he remembers.
The curious princess resigned herself to returning to court in order to benefit, like her sister.
Number 4, his relationship with Kagami can continue. Felix begins the 5th season on a path toward revenge. Using the Peacock Miraculous, he tries to make every controlling person in the world disappear, allowing himself and the people he cares for to have complete freedom over their lives. However, while trying to execute his plan during a motion, he has the opportunity to meet Kagami again, and their conversations leave a positive impression as he realizes how similar they are. Felix returns in pretension to save Kagami from her mother, who grew irritable and cruel toward Kagami because she ended her relationship with Adrien. After realizing that Felix only wants to help her, the pair begin dating, and their romance appears to be going well. Despite Gabriel and Tomoe trying to keep them apart, Felix visits Kagami as Argos, and they hatch a plan to enlist Marinette's help, as they know she's Ladybug. They believe that by defeating Gabriel, they can protect their relationship and finally be together without someone trying to intervene. Their plan to trust Marinette works as Monarch is later defeated, and Felix spends the epilogue at Kagami's side, free to show how much they care for one another in the public eye.
You have the Miraculous of the Peacock. Why don't you create a sentimonster to get us out of here?
First of all, don't call them that.
Gabriel's influence extended well beyond his portrayal as the primary antagonist in the series. His profound impact on his family, especially on Adrien and Felix, was often detrimental, leaving lasting psychological and emotional effects. As we await the unfolding consequences of Gabriel's final wish, we can only hope for positive transformations in the lives of those who his controlling and manipulative nature has significantly impacted. Only time will reveal how much Adrien and Felix's lives have improved in the aftermath of Gabriel's wish, as Season 6 will undoubtedly follow the two cousins as they move on to the next chapter of their lives.
I'm really sorry I didn't come to your dad's funeral. My father thought it would be too hard on me, considering everything that's happened this year.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Why did you steal my ring, Felix?
Mom really wanted me to have it since it belonged to her family, but you really wanted to keep it. So I plan on giving it back to you tonight.